In the last class, we are discussing about the conditional statement example programs. In this particular class, we are going to start with the loop concept. So let me create a new file. File number 5, file number 6. Okay, so first we'll understand what is loop here and why we are using the loop and how to implement the loop. Okay, so simply loop is nothing but it's a block. It's a block here. Now, in the last classes also, we are learning the conditional statement. In the conditional statement, we are writing the if block, we are writing the else if block, right? We are writing the else block. So each and every block will give you some particular execution. Now, the question is why we are creating this particular loop block and what actually we can write inside of this particular loop block. So inside of this particular loop block, you can access variables also. Inside of this particular block, you can create formulas also. Inside of this particular block, you can create, okay, you can add, you can write conditions also. Okay, so lots of things you can do. Whenever you are creating this particular loop block, so this particular block will work as a cycle. So loop work as a cycle. So this cycle is divided into three particular stages. The first one is called starting point. The second one is called ending point, and last will be the updating point. Okay, so there are three stages of it. Starting point, which is also called initialization point also. Okay, ending point also called as a condition point or restriction point. Updating point is also called as a, here you're going to add the steps, adding the steps to update the cycle till it finds the end point. So whenever you're adding the updating point, it may be you're going to increase the value, maybe you're going to decrease the value, maybe you're going to write some particular formulas to update your particular steps. Is it clear till now, guys? Now, the purpose of creating the loop here, why we are creating this particular purpose. Maybe here you are accessing a large data set and then you wanted to generate some particular result, or else you wanted to add some particular restrictions, you wanted to add some particular conditions, maybe you want to execute any sequences in order wise or with some particular conditions or formulas. Maybe you are executing any code or sequence with the restrictions. There are different possibilities out there. Okay, so here whenever I'm using this particular loop, we have to make sure your loop must be divided into three particular stages: starting point, end point, and updating point. What will happen if I'm not mentioning the ending point? What will happen if I'm not mentioning the updating point? What is going to be happened here? So here it will create the infinite loop. Okay, so note, let me just add the note. If you are not maintaining your cycle, nothing but the stages, then your loop will become the infinite. What will happen if my loop become the infinite loop. So normally what will happen, the process are going to be keep on updating, keep on running. The code is going to be keep on running, keep on running. Just take an example. My code is accepting the data or storing the data. Then what will happen in my particular application, there will be some particular memory will be there. Then it will maybe, if it is accepting the data and it is become the infinite loop, so there is a one particular point will come, like all the memory is going to be consumed. Just assume, okay, you are running one particular game application. In that particular game application, whenever you do any particular task, in that particular task, there will be some particular uh, memory is going to be consumed for each and every particular task. And when you are doing this particular task, okay, your CPU memory is going to keep on increasing, keep on. Sometime what will happen, our particular system is going to be stuck. Then what we'll do, we'll enter control alt delete, and then we'll go to the task manager and we delete some particular task. Why? Because it is consuming the memory. It is then after consuming all the particular memory, there will be no particular chances will be there to do the one more particular task. So sometimes these things are going to be happen. Is it clear, guys? Yes, no? Are you getting my point?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So we have to make sure whenever we are running any particular code, we are executing any particular code inside of the loop, then we have to maintain this particular where we are starting, where we till where we need to end, and how we can reach from start to end point. If you maintain this particular flow, then your particular loop block or nothing but the code, whatever the code you have written inside of the loop area, then it is going to be work smoothly. Otherwise, you may feel some particular disturbance in their particular execution part. Okay. Now, there is a one more part is there. Whenever you are creating any particular loop, okay, your loop may be may become counter control loop, or it may be event control loop, counter control loop or event control loop. So what is the difference between the event control and counter control? So simple concept is there. Whenever you create any particular loop and you already know, like after how many iteration, like after how many steps, after how many updating point, like this is my ending point. If you already know, like there is a 30 particular steps, after the 30 steps, okay, just assume there is a one particular Super Mario game is there. In the Super Mario game, there will be fixed particular steps are there. The level 1, you have to reach these particular points. Then we can easily go to the level 2. After this level 2, you can go to the level 3. So there are fixed particular points are there. There are some particular games will be there. There are no fixed points will be there. It will keep on adding the collecting points, keep on collecting the points. There is a racing game will be there. Okay. Or else there will be some timers will be there. Okay. So if the timer hits, then automatically my particular program is going to be end. Is it clear, guys? Yes, no?
Yes, sir.
Okay. If you're getting any doubt or questions, let me know. Okay. So here, what is the counter control loop? Simple meaning, whenever, let me just write here points. Whenever you create any loop, in that loop, if you already knows after how many iteration, okay, professional word is iteration. Normally we can write step by step, or you can say updating point. Okay, whatever the word you wanted to use, you can use. So after how many iterations, after how many step, after how many updating point, my loop is going to be terminated. Terminated means end, completed. Then this type of loop will be called as a counter control loop. Means I already know after 10th iteration, after 15th iteration, my loop is going to be terminated. My particular point is going to be end. My particular code is going to be executed here. This is the end part. So if you already know, then this type of loop will be called as a counter control loop. Reverse to that, okay, reverse to that. Whenever I'm creating any particular loop, we don't know after which particular point. For example, there is a car, there is a one car racing game is there, okay. In that particular car racing game, just assume, okay, here let me just add one paint. Just assume this is your particular track, okay, and there is a one particular, okay, start point is there, and now your car is going to be start, okay. Just assume there is one particular car is there, and this car is going to be start. Now when the car is starting here, okay, he is going to collect some particular point, okay. Just assume there is one star point is there, there is one star point is there, okay. And after start point also there is some particular danger points also there. Just assume this is the danger point, okay. Just assume this is a danger point is there. Now what your particular car is doing, okay, now you're going to car, you're going to start here, okay, it is starting, it is collecting the point, collecting point, suddenly it is hit here. So now if this particular hit here means what will happen here, it will be end, it will be end. So we don't know where it is going to be hit, where it is going to be end. Maybe in the first position, maybe in the second position, maybe in the third position, maybe in the fourth position, we don't know. Clear? Yes, no?
Yes.
Okay. So if we don't know, then what will happen? This is called which type of particular loop? This is called event control loop. Event control loop means we don't know
So,
after how
one
many
sec.
iterations.
Excuse me. The screen share is stopped. Yeah.
Let me just reshare once again. Is it clear now?
Yeah.
Okay. So whenever I hit any particular area, means any particular, some particular restrictions point came, okay, my particular loop is going to be end here. So here, what is the concept? Simple. If and whenever you create any particular loop, and in that particular loop, if you don't know, okay, here, if you don't know after how many iteration steps or updating point, my loop is going to be terminated or end. This type of loop will be called as a event control loop. Clear this point?
Yes, sir.
Yes, no? Okay. Now, how to write the loop here? So we can write the loop in Python programming language in two ways: for loop and while loop. So what is the difference between the for loop and while loop? So for loop means here, okay, in this particular for loop in other programming language, if we compare for loop, while loop, there is a do while loop also there, but in Python we don't have the do while loop, we just have the for loop and while loop. So all the particular the execution part remains same, but here it is different here. For loop we specifically use to just execute the sequence order wise. In between that, if you wanted to add the condition, yes, you can add it. But if you wanted to write the, like, already fixed particular iterations are there. So here you can assume counter control. Fixed iterations are there. But coming to the while loop, we use for the event control loop specifically. So you can use for the counter also and the event control loop also. For loop only for the counter control loop, while loop for the event control loop specifically. Okay. And how does actually work here? What is the syntax here for the for loop and while loop? Simple syntaxes are there. So first of all, here I'm going to mention the for keyword, and then I need to mention the reference variable name, and then I need to mention in which sequence I wanted to access, and then what code I wanted to generate. This is the syntax here for the for loop. Coming to the while loop, here we are event control loop. So specifically we are mentioning the starting point, ending point, updating point, all these things. So in this particular, when you mentioning the sequence, already in the sequence, there is a starting point will be there, ending point will be there, and updating point by default it will be 1. Okay, and if you wanted to change the updating point in the code section, you can add the restrictions or conditions here. Coming to the while loop, first of all, we have to initialize the value. Okay, initialize the value, which is also called starting point. In the next stage, okay, let me just add here as syntax. Okay, so first of all, we have to mention the initialization point. Then we have to mention the while keyword, and inside of that, we need to add some particular condition, nothing but the end point. And then we need to maintain the one tab space, and then we need to write what code you wanted to generate, and then we need to mention the updating point also. Okay, this is the way like how my particular while loop is going to be work. Let me show you one particular example here. Okay, so just assume okay, so here we are going to print, just assume 1 to 10 values I wanted to print. Okay, so what is my starting point? Starting point will be 1. What is my end point? End point will be the 10 here. Okay, and just assume updating point as a +1. Okay, every time I wanted to increase one value here. This is my particular condition is there. Okay, so how I'm going to write this? So first of all, here I'm going to mention this is my initialization. So it is how it's going to be start. Okay, so here just assume you are mentioning a equals to 1, just assume. Okay, you have mentioned a equals to 1 here. Okay, and once you mention this particular value, now starting point will goes to the condition. So next it will go to the, it will check some particular condition here. It will check some condition. Okay, so what we can write the condition, just assume we are writing the condition a less than 11. Okay, now first it will go from start point and then it will check the condition. If this particular condition is true, if the condition is true, if it is correct, okay, if this condition is true, then what it will do, it will go to the next step, the execution point. Okay, it will go to the execution point. Okay, it will execute some particular point. Just assume I am printing, I wanted to print a here, I wanted to print the a value here. So when it will go to the execution, if it is reaching to the condition point, then only it will go from this true to execution point. Okay, then after executing, again it will go to the updating point. Again it will go to the updating point. From this particular point, again it will update the value. Okay, so here again it is going to update the value. Okay, and how we are going to update this? Just assume we are mentioning here a plus 1. We are incrementing the 1 value. Again what it will do, it will update the value. Again it will check the condition. Again it will check the condition. Again if the condition is true, okay, if the condition is true, it will keep on executing this particular cycle. It is keep on executing this particular cycle till what, till it find the wrong. Okay, if condition is wrong here, if condition is wrong, then what will happen, it will find the end point. It will find the end point from here to here. So how it is going to find the endpoint? First a equals to 1. So what will happen here? In the output 1 is going to print. Okay, then it will increase the value 1 plus 1. nothing but the answer will be 2. So 2 will be print, because here you can see the conditions here also. What we have added the condition, 1 less than 11, 2 less than 11, 3 less than 11. Like this it is keep on executing. Okay, then again 2 plus 1 equals to 3. Like this it is keep on executing this particular value. Okay, until what? Until it find the end point, means 10. Again it will check 10 is less than 11. No, this is wrong. 10 is less than, no. So then it will find 10 is my particular end point. So here, till here only it is going to be stop. Okay, it is going to be stop. Is it clear? Yes, no?
Yes, sir.
Okay, so this is the way like how my loop is going to work. First the starting point, then it will check the condition, it will execute, it will, if it is find true, then it will execute and update the value and keep on running this particular loop until the condition is find the false. Here if the not reaching to the requirement, it will find like this is my end point, and then my loop is going to be end. If I'm mentioning conditioning point, if I'm mentioning the updating point, what will happen? It will keep on running the same particular value. Clear? Any doubt, any questions, guys? Now let's understand how to write this particular loop here. So first we'll go with the for loop example. Okay, now here I'm going to write one particular condition. Let's take an example. I wanted to print one particular simple sequence here. Okay, I wanted to print one simple sequence in string format. So here I'm going to write for I in, and here I'm going to mention something like welcome here. And now I wanted to access print I. So what is I here? I is my reference variable. You can take ABCD, any particular name also. Now you can see here what is happening. By default in the for loop, there is a fifth sequence is there. So this is my W is my starting point and E is my ending point. Automatically by default it will be the 1 will be the updating point. Maybe this sequence may be coming from the some variable also. For example, you can see I'm writing something hello world. Now this string save in the A variable, and I can write for I in A, and if I print this particular I, same particular sequences are going to print here. One by one, one by one, one by one. Clear? Yes, no?
Sir.
Similarly, you can write multiple values also. Example purpose, just assume there is a one color is a one data set is there, and in this multiple values are saved, something red, something blue, okay, something cyan, okay. And now I wanted to print all the particular values one by one. Example, here I'm going to write for I in color, and here I'm going to print the I. So here words are going to print instead of the single character, because there are multiple values are there. Similarly, you can execute any numbers also. So there is a range function is there. For example, if I write for I in range of something 3 or something, let's make it 3, and here I am mentioning the print of I here. So what will happen here? Total 3 values are going to print 0, 1, 2, because these are the decimal values are there. So start with the 0 only. Similarly, if I am mentioning here, something 5, so then 0 to 4 is going to print 1 to 4, 4 values, including 0, the fifth value. Clear?
Yes, sir.
Now I wanted to change the starting point in the numbers here. Okay, so how I can do this? Simply I can mention the what is the starting. For example, 1 is my starting point. I wanted to print till 6 here. 7 means total 6 it will print. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 means total 7 values, and here starting with the 1 here. Okay, so how you have to mention, if you're giving the 2 values, the first will be the starting value will be there, and then whatever the end value you wanted to print, you have to write +1. Example purpose, if I wanted to print 5 to 10, I wanted to print. So how I am going to write for I in range of 5 will be the starting point, and then I'll mention the 11. Then it only 10 will be going to print here. Clear?
Yes, sir.
Similarly, I wanted to print the some other particular difference point also. Okay, means I wanted to change the difference. Not I don't want to print the continuous value. I wanted to add the difference point. Nothing but the updating point. Just assume after one every number I wanted to add with the 3 here. Okay, adding 3 to every number here. So simply I'm going to write for I in range of, just assume starting value is 1, ending value is something 20, and updating point I'm mentioning the 3. And if I mention here print I, so now you can see first 1 is printing 1 plus 3, 4, 4 plus 3, 7 plus 3, like this. So first will be the starting point, and then what will be the your ending point will be there, that you have to mention plus 1, and then you have to print the difference or updating point. You can add some particular conditions also. Example purpose, I wanted to add some conditions or formula. Yes, we can add that part also. Let's take an example. I wanted to print a range of 1 to 20 values. Okay, so simply you can see here these values are printing perfectly. 1 to 20 values are printing, but in this particular 20 values I want only even numbers. I wanted to print only even numbers. So here I can write, before printing this particular value, I can write some particular condition. If this particular sequence is divisible with the 2, and then I wanted to print the my particular sequence value. Otherwise, I don't wanted to print the sequence value. Now you can see here. So here only even numbers are printing. Similarly, if I wanted to print the only odd numbers, just as same. So then I can write the reverse condition. So instead of equals to, if I mention not equals to, so then odd numbers are going to print here. Is it clear? Yes, no?
Yes, sir.
Similarly, if I wanted to add, okay, one more particular condition or formula something. Let's take an example. I wanted to print something multiplication of the table, okay, of the given number. Let's take an example purpose. I wanted to print 7th multiplication number. Let's assume 7 ones are 7, okay, 7 twos are 14, okay, like this. Keep on. I wanted to print till 7 tens 70, okay. So now how are we going to write this particular formula? There are some particular fixed value is there. There is one updated value is also there, and there is one formula also there. What is the fixed value here? Fixed value is the number. Fixed value is the number is there. And what about the updating value? The second values 1, 2, 3. These are the sequences are there. Right? This is my sequence 1 to 10. What is the formula? This number is multiplying with the sequence. This is the formula. Clear this point? Yes, no? Now
Yes,
what
sir.
I wanted to do, I wanted to implement this into my particular program here. So simply what I'm going to take, I'm going to take one particular variable. Let's take this as a number as a variable. I wanted to convert this as an integer, and here I'm going to mention input function, and here I'm writing enter any number to get multiplication table here. And once I'm entering this particular number, I want the multiplication table. So here I just need to create one loop. So I'm going to write for I in range of, okay, something 1 to 10. I think I need to mention 11, and then I need to create one result. So my result will be number into my each and every particular sequence. Next, I wanted to print my particular result, so I'm going to print the result. So first of all, I need the number. There is number. Then there is star symbol is there, so that is in the string format, and then sequences are printing 1 2 3, that is my I variable. And then here I wanted to mention the equal symbol, that is in the string format. And next we need to print the result. It is in the result. Now once I run this, now you can see if I print 7, now you are getting the 7 multiplication table. If you enter any other particular number 4, you will get the 4 multiplication table. Whatever the number you are going to enter, that particular number table is coming according to the formula. Is it clear? Yes, no?
Yes, sir. Okay.
Okay. Now let's do some particular while loop example. In the same while loop, I wanted to print 1 to 10 values now. So how we can write this? So first of all, we need the starting point. Let's take a equals to 1 as a starting point. And then I need to add the condition. So I'm going to write the condition a is less than 11. And then I wanted to print some particular values. So here I'm going to print a. And then I wanted to update the value. So I'm going to write assignment operator with addition. Every time I need to iterate one particular value here. And now once I run this, now you can see here 1 to 10 values are printing perfectly. Similarly, you can print in the reverse order also. Let's print the reverse order. I'm going to mention a equals to 10. And here I'm going to write while condition. If my a is greater than or equals to 1, then only I wanted to print my particular value. And I wanted to decrease the value for each and every particular iteration. And once I run this, now you can see here, it is printing in the reverse order. In between that also, if you wanted to add some particular conditions, you can add the conditions also. Example purpose, you can add statements also. Let's take a reversely, like I wanted to print 1 to 20 values. Okay. And in this, I wanted to add one statement. This is my count. And here I'm going to update this particular value. And here I'm going to restrict this value. Okay. And now you can see here, it is printing statement as well as values also. Again, you can write some particular conditions also. Example purpose, I just wanted to add the condition if this particular sequence is divisible with the 2 and remainder getting 0, then you have to print this particular statement. Okay, so here I'm going to write event count. This is the event value. This is the event number. Okay, if it is not an even number, then it will be the else it is a odd number. Like this also you can write. Okay, and now once I run this, now you can see here it is printing. Okay, first, okay, so all of the event number it is printing because we need to write update the value. Okay, again I'm going to write one more condition here. Can write here else block. Let's write here as a odd. Okay, let's write first only even number. Okay. Divisible with the 2, why it is printing all the numbers. One, two, three, 5, 6, 7, 9, 9, 10. Okay, we need to upgrade here only. Okay, still we are getting the same values. Okay, we have to mention a here. Okay, let me close this and delete. Let me write once again. Okay, so here I'm going to write first a equals to 1. Okay, so here I'm adding the condition while my a is less than or 20. Okay, I just wanted to print my particular a value, and just here I wanted to write what is my count. Okay, this is my a value, and then I wanted to increase the value by 1. Okay, this is my simple condition. 1 to 20 is printing perfectly. Now I wanted to add the condition here. So here I'm adding the condition if this particular a value is divisible with the 2 and remainder I'm getting the 0, then only I wanted to print this particular a value. So now you can see here only even numbers are printing. And now what I wanted to do, I wanted to add the one more else condition also. So here I'm going to add one more else condition. And here I wanted to print the count for the odd numbers. Okay, so here I'm going to write event even number, and this is my odd numbers. So now you can see here, first one is the odd number, second is the even, again odd is coming, even. So it is checking all the particular iteration, and each and every iteration it is giving the different types of results. Is it clear? Yes, no?
Yes, sir.
Now, let me assign you some task related to the this loop. Okay, let me explain you each and every particular question now. The first question is you have to write a program which reading a number and printing the total of the number. Example, if you enter 1, 2, 3, 4, then your expected output will be 10. How the 10? 1 plus 2 plus 3 plus 4. So you have to iterate the each and every particular number, and then you will get the sum of that particular number. Similarly, if you enter 12, the answer will be 3. If you enter 90, the answer will be 9. First question is clear.
Yes, sir.
Next question, write a program which is printing the sum of the number series. Example purpose, if you enter 1, the answer will be 1. If you enter 2, then previous sum plus present number, means 1 plus 2 become 3. If you enter 3, again previous sum is 3, present number 3, 6. If you enter 4, previous sum is 6, and now you enter 4, so answer is 10, like that. Next question, write a program that uses a for loop, and you have to print this particular sequence number starting with the 8 and 89, and there are some difference points will be there. And I need comma also in each and every particular. You can see there are some comma is mentioned. So I want the in the output comma also. Next question, write a program that asks the user for the name and how many times you wanted to print the name. Example purpose, enter the name Sachin, enter how many times you wanted to repeat, 7 times. So 7 times Sachin should be printed. Next question, write a program to print the given number is the prime number or not. Next program, write a program to find the factorial of the given number. Next program, write a program that reads a value until -1. If someone is entering the -1, then only you have to end the loop. So this is called event control loop. Same thing, if someone is entering the minus, you are ending the loop. But before that, if someone is entering positive value, negative value, zero value, how many times they have attempt, then you have to count all the particular attempts. Multiplication just now we have done. Patterns I'm going to explain you in the next class. And next question is write a program that asks the user to enter a word and print this particular word contains any vowels or not. And then you have to check one more thing, like this in this particular how many vowels are there. 2 vowels are there, 3 vowels are there, 4 vowels are there, like that. Next last question, print the GCD of the given two number. Example, just assume there is 16, 20 is there. GCD nothing but the greatest common divider. So here, if you give two values, it will check. First value is repeating with how many numbers, dividing with the how many numbers. Second value also dividing with how many number. What are the common values are there? These are the common values are there, which is dividing first number also, second number also. Then which is the highest number? Then you have to print that particular. So this is a manually we have written, but you have to write some particular program to generate this particular output. Any doubt, any questions?
No, sir.
Okay, so in this particular class, we have understand the counter control loop. In the next class, we are going to understand how to write the event control loop and how to draw the patterns and how to use the transfer statement. Okay, So practice these things, complete your particular task. If you're getting any doubt or questions, so please let